Andy loved flying drones and had a lot of experience with them. One day, he decided to check out a new place. While flying his drone, he spotted a small door on top of a mountain. Feeling curious, he flew the drone closer and noticed the door was really tiny. His curiosity grew, and he decided to climb the mountain to see it for himself. It wasn't easy getting into the old metal door, but Andy was determined. After a lot of effort, he finally got inside. What he saw shocked him as he explored deeper into the mountain. It was clear that someone had built this place for a reason, and when Andy figured out what that reason was, it stunned him. He quickly realized he shouldn't be there and hurried to get out of the mountain, hoping it wasn't too late. But what did Andy find inside? Why was it hidden behind a small door, and why was going in such a bad idea? Andy had always wanted to explore the protected forest, but local authorities had blocked his way for years. Determined to see the area, he decided to fly his drone over the land, hoping to capture the footage he craved. As an experienced drone pilot, Andy had been selling videos online, and illegal locations brought in the most money. During this flight, he spotted a small mountain with a strange metal object near the top, possibly a door. As he flew the drone closer, something unexpected happened. His trusty drone began to malfunction heavily. Within seconds, the screen started to glitch and Andy lost control. The screen went completely black, and the last thing he saw was the drone crashing toward the foot of the mountain. Now Andy faced a dilemma. Not only did he want to retrieve his expensive drone and see if there was anything salvageable, but he also felt like he had no other choice. So he decided to scale the fence. His heart raced as he made his way through the thick vegetation. Using his GPS, he ensured he stayed on track, as the forest was so difficult to traverse that getting lost was easy. After about an hour of walking, Andy finally found what he was looking for, his drone, hanging from some vines high in the trees. He decided to leave it there and continue with his original goal, investigating the strange metal door. As he began his ascent, Andy realized how deceptive the mountain's terrain was. He regretted not bringing more suitable gear. The higher he climbed, the more the mountain's magnitude became evident. From below, it had seemed so manageable. Along the way, Andy discovered ancient etchings on some boulders, possibly created by indigenous tribes. Were they guidance? A warning? The final stretch to the door felt both exhilarating and ominous. With every step, the metallic entrance loomed larger, emphasizing its out-of-place nature in this wild setting. Andy's heart raced in anticipation of the secrets hidden behind the imposing barrier. The door's size suggested it was built for something large, yet its detailed design indicated purpose, care, and intention. Andy was drawn to an almost concealed side entryway, much smaller and less grand than the main entrance. The hidden door was bound by a rusted padlock, weathered over time. Undeterred, Andy used his water bottle to attack the lock. Once inside, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Darkness engulfed Andy, and his flashlight's beam offered minimal visibility, revealing a vast cavernous space ahead. He quickly realized the cavern wasn't just one large room. Various pathways branched off, each more enticing and mysterious than the last. The mountain's walls, edged with the scars of time, seemed to whisper tales of those who might have tread these paths long before him. This was no longer just a place of exploration for Andy, it was a witness to stories yet untold. A breathtaking expanse awaited Andy after he squeezed through a particularly tight crevice. The hallway was not just an architectural marvel, it was a gallery of the past. Displayed on raised platforms and within alcoves were remnants of a bygone era, broken pottery, rusted weapons, and faded textiles. Each artifact told tales of daily life, celebrations, wars, and perhaps even ceremonies. Andy felt an overwhelming respect for a civilization he could only dream of understanding. But now, the silence was profound. Every footstep Andy made echoed back, bouncing off the walls. Suddenly, in the midst of his ascent, a new sound pierced the silence. Footsteps, distinctly different from his own. They echoed eerily, making it hard to decipher their distance or direction. A shiver ran down Andy's spine. The realization dawned upon him. He might not be the only living being journeying through the mountain's heart. The once bright beam of his flashlight now flickered erratically. Dread settled in Andy's stomach as he fumbled for spare batteries, only to remember he had left them behind. With a dimming flashlight and growing exhaustion, the weight of despair began to press on him. He needed to find an escape, or at least a sign indicating the right direction. Amid the shadows, Andy noticed an area that stood apart. Age-old equipment constructed from materials he didn't recognize lay scattered. These weren't relics of an ancient civilization, but rather machines with intricate designs and unfamiliar functionalities. Though worn with time, they bore an aura of purpose and sophistication. Beyond the machinery, a grand chamber revealed itself, resembling a control room of sorts. Panels adorned with cryptic symbols, levers, and large circular screens hinted at the room's significance. Amid the dust and cobwebs, Andy felt as though he had stumbled upon the very heart of the mountain's secrets, a place that once pulsed with activity and purpose. Driven by curiosity, Andy pressed a worn button, causing the ground to hum and screens to glow. He found old documents written in a mix of familiar and foreign languages, mentioning expeditions and something called the mountain's core. Frustratingly, the final pages were missing, leaving Andy close to an important discovery, but without answers. Suddenly, a distant rumble broke the silence. The machinery's activation might have alerted something. Panicked, Andy hurried to retrace his steps, navigating tight spaces and slippery slopes as the rumble grew louder. The descent felt even more dangerous than the climb. Emerging into a familiar cavern, Andy's heart leaped at the sight of his drone, lying undisturbed. Its presence was a beacon of the modern world amidst ancient mysteries, offering a sense of comfort and familiarity. With the drone safely in hand, the exit's beckoning grew stronger. As he neared the mountain's base, Andy couldn't shake the sensation of being watched. Unfamiliar rustles and whispers echoed, suggesting a possible pursuit. Each noise heightened his senses, making Shavas dance menacingly. Was he truly alone, or had awakening the machinery stirred something more? As Andy moved further, an expansive chamber appeared ahead. Concealed by layers of rocks and vines, its vastness was breathtaking, resembling a hangar more than a natural formation. The ceiling was high, with strange patterns inscribed. This wasn't just any aircraft. Its sleek design and unfamiliar markings suggested it belonged to an era far ahead of our time, or perhaps from a past too distant to remember. Andy quickly captured images with his drone, ensuring evidence of his discovery before making a hasty retreat. Coming out of the deep cave, Andy felt relieved to be back in the open air. The sunlight on his face made the dangers and mysteries of the mountain feel like a distant memory. Back at his camp, he reviewed the drone footage, comparing it to what he had seen firsthand. The images of the jet were clear and unmistakable. It felt like he had uncovered something not from the past, but a glimpse of the future, or a lost part of history. The responsibility of this discovery weighed heavily on him. Sharing it with the world could change everything, but it also came with risks. What if the jet fell into the wrong hands? What did its existence even mean? Andy struggled with the decision to protect what he found while also informing the world. After careful thought, he knew he had to reveal his discovery, but needed to do it carefully. He made copies of the footage, hid the original in a safe place, and started contacting trusted experts in archaeology and aviation, keeping his identity hidden. The mountain's secrets seemed to follow him, even affecting his mind. Within days of quietly sharing bits of the footage, the story went viral. News outlets around the world showed the images of the strange, ancient jet. People were filled with curiosity, wild theories spread, and Andy's quiet life was turned upside down. The hidden mountain and its mysterious jet became the center of worldwide attention.